Gandhi. These are my twins, Kaya and Sione and Kaya. We have spent a lot of time cooking together, and so hopefully we're going to put on a fun demonstration for you today. First, I wanted to thank Rajbo for including us and giving us the honor of helping them launch their new cooking demonstration series. So we're really excited about that, and we'd love to see what's going to be coming down the road. So why are we the subject matter experts on Paan Ladoos? We're not, but we've spent a long time in our kitchen together as a family. The children go to a Montessori school that does not have a hot lunch program and is very careful about allergies. So for 10 years, we've been cooking their breakfast and their lunches together. A couple of years ago, they kicked me out of the process, and now they do it on their own. And so I've given them full reign in the kitchen, and they've come up with some amazing things. So they're actually going to be leading the demonstration today. I'll just do the little quick intro, and I'll hand it over to them. So in front of you, you should see what are called paan leaves. They're also known as betel leaves in India. And for anybody that is familiar with Hindu customs and culture, you'll know that paan leaves are typically offered to God at religious ceremonies, in festivals, in temples. You don't see them used too much in food, except in India they do put sometimes tobacco and a little bit of rose jam in there, and you eat them after meals as a way for digesting your meal and to freshen your breath. But we're not going to do that today. We're actually going to use them to make a sweet treat, and you'd be surprised what it tastes like before in its raw format and what it tastes like after. So if you like, and everybody has a glass of water at their table, just take a little bit of the paan leaf off in its raw form and just chew on it, just so you understand what it tastes like in its raw format. It's a heart-shaped leaf. It's actually very beautiful, and there's tons of benefits to them, which the twins will go through. So if you taste it, you'll taste that it's a little peppery, it's a little bitter, it's not very yummy in its raw format. Go ahead, Nami, take a little bit. No. But wait till you see, after you add some ingredients to it, it's the magic of recipes, what it does to it at the end. Okay, so let's see, what else did I want to mention about that? Anything? Should we just get going? All right, so I'm going to hand it over to the twins and let's get started. You guys want to put your clothes on?
Thank you so much to Rodbo for letting us do this. So, let's begin. So, the ingredients you're going to need are half a cup of sweetened condensed milk, about 4 to 5 teaspoons of mukat or rose jam, some ghee right here, and 1.5 cups of shredded coconut.
So the materials we'll need are a small blender cup, a saucepan, a stove, a prep bowl, a smaller bowl, and some utensils. So the first step is going to be to put your paan leaves into the blender cup, but when you do that, you want to rip them up a little bit so they're smaller.
Yeah, and you might need to share your blender cups because we don't have that many. And the blenders are over there, so you can just take turns doing it. Oh yeah, and you might need to rip them up to put them in the blender. If you want to add 4 of your paan leaves to this. Okay, so after we crush our paan leaves in here, we're going to add our smaller one and one bigger one. So we're just going to add that in. So this is about a little more than half a cup. Okay. So now we're gonna blend it, and we might need to like shake it up a little, so it blends properly. And the blenders are over here, so after everyone's done putting it in the blender, you blend it over there, and then just give the cup to the next person.
And you want to blend it until it's like green and you don't see big chunks of the leaves.
Alright, so the next step. Oh, yeah. And if you have the blender mixture and you don't know where to put it, you can just put it in the black prep bowl. Okay. Is everybody ready for the next step? Yep. Okay. So the next step is to heat our. Oh yeah. Okay. Before we start on the next step, actually, everyone can just try tasting the mixture, and you'll see the difference of the regular paan leaf from the mixture. It tastes a lot better. Okay. Okay. Alright, so after everyone is done, let's turn our pan onto medium heat. Okay, so now you're gonna put your pan onto slow to medium heat, and you're okay, so the next step is not working, is it? So the next step is to heat our stove up to slow to medium heat. So like Rocket Circle said, you're gonna do it till you hear a click. And then you're just gonna lower it back to slow to medium heat. Okay, so now we have two. Okay, so the first step is to put about half of our ghee onto the pan after rotating.
Alright, did everyone get their stove to medium heat, or does somebody need help?
Yes, on perfect. Okay.
Alright, so the next step is to get your ghee, and you want to take like about, I don't know, like half of it.
Just use your hands. Okay. So you're gonna take about half of it and just put it on your pan. We're gonna use this like cooking oil. Alright, there. And then we're just gonna let it melt on.
Okay, and then once your ghee is like melted, you want to add your big cup. You want to add your big cup of coconut, just the big one,
Not melt.
and you just want to put it in there.
And spread it across the pan. Okay, so once we put our coconut on the pan, we're just gonna spread it across, and we're just gonna roast it for maybe about 1 minute or until it's very light. light brown. And just keep mixing it across.
Yeah, if you need to stand up, please do so.
Okay.
Wait, not the small. Well, too late now. Okay, yeah, you're only gonna put the big cup of shredded coconut because we're gonna use the small one for something else later.
No, not the small one.
Yeah, you need the small one for the next step.
Alright, so the coconut doesn't really have to be brown. You just want to warm it up a little bit. So now you want to add your one mixture to the pan.
So yeah, after it's warmed up, we're just gonna add our mixture and we're just gonna coat it on the shredded coconut.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep mixing it. And you want to turn the heat a little bit lower too, so it doesn't burn the pan.
So yeah, after you got your mixture, like I said, just turn the heat a little lower so that we don't burn the shredded coconut mixture.
Then you just want to keep mixing it.
And whenever you're done mixing it, it should be like a pizza dough consistency, kind of like a thick dough. Okay, so I think that Kaya and I are ready to turn our heat off. So,
Yeah, it doesn't really have to be a full pizza dough consistency yet, because it will cool and it will get thicker.
this is what it's supposed to look like after. And Omi, I wish you could heat lower.
It's on.
Oh, nice. Let's get this out. Alright, is everybody ready for the next step?
So as you can tell, it's pretty hot. Like it will burn you, I think. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our rose jam. We don't have rose jam. Okay. So we want to roll little pea-sized balls of rose jam. You want to roll like 8 of them?
Yeah, and you should have a small container that kind of looks like this like round jelly, like this. So you're gonna have a small container of that. Does everyone have it?
Golgan. Golgan is rose jam or golgan.
Alright, so everybody should have a small container of this. So what we're gonna do is once you get it, we're gonna roll about a little bigger than pea size. So we're just gonna roll. Oh, actually, before you do this, let's get our hands, or gloves in our case.
Yeah, so then your hands don't stick.
And so you're just gonna take your remaining pea here and put it all over your hands or gloves, I guess. Alright, so next step. We're gonna take our glue gun and we're gonna roll it to look like this. So it's gonna be like a pea-sized shape, maybe a little bigger. So, And if you're trying to do a modifier with less sugar, you can actually use some crushed up dates. We actually did it the other day, so you can add some crushed up dates with a little bit of glucose and it works just the same.
You want to make like 8 of these? Well,
Yeah,
you got 16 if you're combining your batter.
Maybe a size that's about like a ping pong ball. So it should be about this big. Alright, and then what you're going to do is you're going to flatten it. And then you're going to put one of your rose jam balls in the middle. And then just roll it back up. So it should look like this before you garnish it. Alright, so we're just going to continue rolling them and make sure you flatten them and put the rose jam in. Okay, so if we are doing an option with a little bit of less sugar, we can actually use crushed up dates. So we can blend crushed up dates with some glucose and put it in the middle of our Paan Ladoos like we're doing right now, and it works just the same and tastes just as good. So after we have our ladoos, we're gonna take the rest of our crushed coconut, and we're just gonna pour it into the little red bowl thing. All right.
So after you put your other container of coconut into this little red tray thing, you're going to roll your ladoos in it, and then just put them back onto the plates.
And we're gonna make sure that they're coated evenly.
Yep, like this.
And everyone has a golden plate. That is for plating the ladoos, not to put them on right now. So just leave that golden plate to the side. And I see that people are starting to plate, so everyone has 1 to 2 extra Paan leaves, and they're very good to help plate them. So we're just gonna put the stems in the inside. We can just like walk.
So some of the benefits of Paan leaves, they're full of calcium and niacin, riboflavin, packed with nutrients. There's also phytochemicals in there that help impact your central nervous system, so they're really good for mood. And like Rakesh said, fighting depression. They're great for your digestive system. There's just so many benefits to eating Paan leaves that people don't realize. Like I said, it was used in India with tobacco, but when you take it on its own, put it in a powder, a paste, a juice, there's tons of Ayurvedic benefits to eating Paan leaves. So if there's ways you can incorporate into your diet, it's a great idea.
Not working. And then when you're plating them, you can use your extra shredded coconut just to like sprinkle on and plate your ladoos. And these are great to take to parties, like the volley parties. She's been holding it the whole time. Yeah, no,
Okay, in our Paan Ladoo recipe, you're going to need the paan leaves, you'll need sweet and condensed milk, you'll need the ghee, and we prefer pure ghee, which is a clarified butter. You'll need desiccated coconut powder, and you'll need the gulkan or rose petal essence. As for equipment, you'll definitely need a mixing bowl. You'll need a stove with a saucepan, a blender, a mixer, preferably about 1 or 2 quarts, and then a nice plate if you want to plate your Paan Ladoos afterward. Of course, you'll definitely need a mixing spoon or ladle to go along. Okay, the first thing you have to do is you have to take your paan leaves and cut them into pieces. They'll be rather large, so cut them into manageable pieces that will eventually go in the blender. With the paan leaves cut up, now it's time to add them to your blender or mixer. First put the paan leaves in, and then on top of that, add the sweet and condensed milk. And with both of the ingredients added, then we can begin the mixing process. Now that the mixture is done, bring it into the mixing bowl. In your case, your mixture might have less paan leaf bits in it, and that's okay. Now that we're ready, we're going to now fire up the stove. And once we get a flame, put it on medium heat. Once the stove is set, then we'll put the saucepan on the stove and let's begin the heating process. At the same time, we'll add the clarified butter or ghee to the saucepan. At this point, you can see the ghee is already starting to melt. But once it's fully melted, then only then we want to introduce the coconut powder. Okay, now you can see the ghee is almost ready. And with that, go ahead and introduce the coconut powder. And as you introduce the powder, keep mixing it so that the ghee will spread evenly into the powder. In this process, you're going to begin to roast the coconut powder. Because the powder is desiccated, which means it's already dried out, coconut powder will actually start to roast a little faster than if it were moist or wet. As you continue roasting the coconut, what's interesting is the heat actually begins to release the oil inside the coconut. It starts to roast and it gives off this beautiful roasted nutty flavor and aroma. You'll notice the coconut mixture is beginning to brown a little bit. Just make sure you continue to mix it thoroughly. Okay, when you start seeing that orange color in the middle, it's now time to introduce the Paan mixture. Remember, this is not all the coconut powder in your kit. You're actually going to reserve some, which we'll show later, for the actual final laddu presentation. With this mixture, now you're going to incorporate the Paan mixture that we created earlier with the roasted coconut powder. Keep mixing until everything is even and smooth. It'll become pliable by hand. It'll be easy to move around. And here's an example of how that dough behaves. Now add some clarified butter or ghee to your palms so that it's easy to make Paan Ladoos. You're going to take a small piece, roll it around in your hands so it becomes somewhat of a golf ball sized laddu. And once it's smoothed out, set it aside. You should be able to make about 7, maybe 9 laddus using this size. Alright, we were able to make 10 laddus that were slightly smaller than golf ball size. We chose to go with a slightly smaller size because we can share them with our team at Rajbhog Indian Market and Cafe. We're located in Cranberry Township. Our market is fully stocked with the ingredients that you can purchase to make these Paan Ladoos. With these laddus now, we're going to set them aside and clear out our bowl, and as we're doing it, make sure to keep them in a nice round shape. The next step is to take small pieces of gulkan. Now here's where the creativity comes in. In our case, this gulkan or rose essence has a significant amount of sweetness to it. There's natural sugars, there's also different types of brown sugars that they add to this mixture. You know, with diabetes in this country and across the globe ever increasing, we need to find different ways to bring sweetness to our lives without having the burden of a disease. So if you want, try experimenting with something like, or whatever sweetener you happen to like. Another option is jaggery. Jaggery is a brown sugar that comes from sugarcane. And for diabetics, it's actually much better than the refined sugars that you buy in the stores because your body has to work a little harder to get through that sugar. If you want to get even more creative, try adding small pieces of dates to this mixture. Now each Paan Ladoo and place the gulkan piece in the middle. And once you place it in the middle, just fold the Paan Ladoo around that piece, the gulkan, or if you choose dates or any other sweet item, and make that ball again. Now you have a surprise in the middle of that ladoo. Keep doing this for the remaining Paan Ladoos. Okay, with that final ladoo completed, we're going to transfer all the ladoos to a different plate and clear out that mixing bowl for the final step. Okay, in this mixing pan we're going to add some fresh coconut powder and take each ladoo, roll it around. Okay, with all the Paan Ladoos plated, now you can add additional items such as garnishing, maybe a little extra coconut powder, and even some decorations around the plate.